The intercept of Russian strategic bombers near Alaska was not an isolated military encounter. It was part of a larger and increasingly visible pattern of strategic signaling between nuclear powers. When U.S. fighters, including advanced F-35 and F-16 aircraft, launched to intercept Russian Tu-95 bombers and their escorts, the event immediately highlighted the persistent tension that defines modern great power competition. These aircraft were operating in international airspace, but their presence so close to the U.S. homeland carries significance far beyond routine patrol operations. The Tu-95 bomber, despite its Cold War origins, remains one of Russia's most important strategic assets. Its primary mission is not tactical battlefield engagement, but long-range nuclear deterrence. These aircraft are designed to travel vast distances, remain airborne for extended durations, and, if necessary, deliver nuclear payloads deep into adversary territory. The inclusion of SU-35 fighter escorts and an A-50 airborne early warning aircraft indicates that this was not a symbolic flight, but a coordinated strategic aviation operation with layered operational support. From a military standpoint, this type of mission serves multiple functions simultaneously. It tests radar detection networks, response times, and command coordination on the opposing side. It also allows Russia to gather valuable intelligence on how quickly and in what configuration U.S. air defenses respond. Every intercept provides data that can be used to refine future operational planning in a potential crisis scenario. Most importantly, the location of the intercept near Alaska underscores the enduring importance of geography in global strategy. Alaska sits at the crossroads of the Arctic and the Pacific, forming one of the closest points between the United States and Russia. In strategic terms, this region is not peripheral. It is a frontline zone where deterrence, surveillance, and power projection intersect in real time. To understand the significance of this bomber patrol, it is essential to understand Russia's strategic aviation doctrine. Strategic bombers like the Tu-95 are not designed for conventional battlefield dominance. Their primary role is to serve as airborne components of Russia's nuclear triad, alongside intercontinental ballistic missiles and submarine-launched nuclear weapons. This triad ensures that Russia maintains a credible second strike capability, which is the foundation of nuclear deterrence stability. Unlike ballistic missiles, which follow predictable trajectories once launched, strategic bombers offer flexibility. They can be deployed, recalled, redirected, or held in standby positions. This flexibility makes them powerful tools not only for wartime operations, but also for peacetime signaling. By flying strategic bombers near sensitive regions such as Alaska, Russia demonstrates that its nuclear delivery platforms remain operational, survivable, and capable of approaching key strategic zones. This creates uncertainty for adversaries and reinforces deterrence without crossing into direct conflict. These patrols also serve an operational readiness function. Long-range bomber missions test crew endurance, aerial reliability, aerial refueling coordination, and real-time command and control across vast distances. The inclusion of escort fighters and airborne early warning aircraft indicates that Russia is practicing integrated strategic aviation operations. This level of coordination is essential in any high-intensity conflict scenario, where bombers would operate under the protection of layered air defense and fighter support. In recent years, Russia has significantly increased the frequency and geographic scope of its strategic aviation patrols. These flights are not random. They are deliberate demonstrations of reach, capability, and resolve. By maintaining regular bomber presence near key regions, including the Arctic, North Atlantic, and Pacific, Russia reinforces its status as a global military power capable of projecting force far beyond its immediate borders.
For decades, the Arctic was viewed as a remote and frozen periphery of global politics. Today, that perception is rapidly changing. The intercept near Alaska must be understood within the broader militarization of the Arctic region. Melting ice, expanding maritime access, and shifting geopolitical calculations have transformed the Arctic into a strategic corridor linking North America, Europe, and Asia. In military terms, it is one of the shortest routes between major nuclear powers. From a strategic geometry perspective, intercontinental ballistic missile trajectories between Russia and the United States often pass over the polar region. This makes the Arctic central to early warning systems, missile defense calculations, and second strike survivability. Strategic bombers operating near Alaska are therefore not just flying along a border, they are operating in one of the most critical vectors of nuclear deterrence architecture. Geography here directly shapes strategic logic. Russia has invested heavily in Arctic military infrastructure over the past decade. This includes reopening Soviet-era bases, deploying advanced air defense systems, modernizing Arctic brigades, and enhancing long-range aviation patrols. Moscow views the Arctic not only as a resource frontier, but as a defensive shield and power projection platform. Strategic aviation patrols in this region reinforce Russia's ability to control access corridors and assert presence in a rapidly evolving theater. For the United States, Alaska represents a forward defensive anchor. It hosts critical radar systems, interceptor bases, and rapid response air assets. Any Russian activity in the Alaskan Air Defense Identification Zone automatically triggers homeland defense protocols. As a result, the Arctic is no longer a quiet frontier. It is becoming a front-line zone where surveillance, deterrence, and strategic signaling unfold in real time. The interception of Russian bombers near Alaska highlights the operational relevance of the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD. Established during the Cold War, NORAD remains the backbone of North America's aerospace warning and control system. It integrates radar networks, satellites, airborne early warning platforms, and fighter aircraft under a unified command structure shared by the United States and Canada. Its core mission is simple but critical: detect, deter, then defend against aerial threats approaching the continent. From Russian aircraft entering the Alaskan Air Defense Identification Zone, the response was not improvised. It followed a predefined escalation ladder. Early detection systems track long-range aviation departures from Russian bases. As aircraft approach the ADIZ boundary, decision-makers assess flight patterns, escort composition, and mission duration. Interceptors are launched not to provoke confrontation, but to visually identify, shadow, and signal defensive readiness. This calibrated response ensures deterrence without escalation. The deployment of fifth-generation fighters such as the F-35 carries strategic meaning beyond interception. It demonstrates that U.S. homeland defense is integrated with its most advanced platforms. This sends a message of technological superiority and rapid reaction capability. At the same time, airborne command assets and tanker aircraft ensure sustained operational endurance. The goal is not merely to respond, it is to show layered resilience.
In strategic terms, these intercepts are part of a long-running deterrence dialogue. Each encounter reaffirms red lines without crossing them. By responding professionally and consistently, the United States reinforces credibility. And in nuclear-era competition, credibility is often the most decisive factor in maintaining stability. At its core, the bomber patrol near Alaska reflects the enduring logic of nuclear deterrence. Strategic bombers like the TU-95 are not deployed randomly. Their presence in sensitive airspace corridors is a calculated act of signaling. Unlike missiles hidden in silos or submarines beneath the ocean, bombers are visible instruments of power. Their visibility is intentional. It allows a state to demonstrate capability without initiating conflict, reinforcing deterrence through controlled exposure. This form of signaling operates on multiple psychological and strategic levels. First, it reminds adversaries that nuclear delivery systems remain active, maintained, and deployable. Second, it reinforces uncertainty. Strategic bombers can carry conventional or nuclear payloads, and their missions can be adjusted in real time. This ambiguity complicates adversary planning and strengthens deterrent stability. The goal is not to provoke war, but to shape strategic perception. These patrols also serve as readiness validation. Nuclear deterrence depends not only on possessing weapons, but on proving the operational reliability of delivery systems, crews, and command structures. Long-duration bomber missions test coordination across radar systems, aerial refueling networks, and command chains. Every successful patrol reinforces confidence in strategic aviation as a viable component of national defense. For both Russia and the United States, this interaction represents a familiar pattern rooted in Cold War doctrine but adapted for modern competition. Neither side seeks direct confrontation. Instead, they engage in a continuous exchange of signals, demonstrating readiness, measuring response, and maintaining deterrence equilibrium. In this environment, strategic stability depends not on the absence of military activity, but on the careful management of it. The bomber intercept near Alaska reflects a broader transformation in global power competition. This is not simply about a single flight or a routine military patrol. It is part of a sustained pattern in which major powers continuously test each other's detection systems, response speed, and operational readiness. These encounters provide valuable real-world data that cannot be fully replicated through exercises alone. Every interception reveals information about reaction timelines, coordination efficiency, and defensive posture.
For Russia, these patrols demonstrate strategic reach. Despite economic constraints and the demands of ongoing military commitments elsewhere, Moscow continues to prioritize long-range aviation operations. This signals that Russia remains capable of projecting strategic power beyond its immediate region. It reinforces its identity as a nuclear superpower with global operational capability, not merely a regional actor. For the United States, each intercept serves as an opportunity to validate homeland defense systems under real conditions. It confirms that radar networks, interceptor aircraft, and command structures function as intended. More importantly, it reassures allies that U.S. defense commitments remain credible. Strategic competitors are not the only audience. Allies in Europe and the Indo-Pacific closely observe these interactions as indicators of U.S. reliability and military readiness. These encounters also contribute to a larger strategic equilibrium. Both sides operate within understood boundaries, avoiding direct escalation while maintaining visible military presence. This dynamic creates a form of managed competition. It is not peaceful in the traditional sense, but it is structured. Stability emerges not from trust, but from predictable patterns of strength, signaling, and response. The interception near Alaska is not an isolated event, nor is it a temporary phase. It reflects a structural shift in the international security environment. The era of uncontested military dominance by any single power is fading. In its place, a multipolar strategic landscape is emerging, defined by continuous competition between technologically advanced and nuclear-armed states. Strategic bomber patrols, interceptor responses, and aerial signaling are becoming normalized features of this environment. The Arctic will likely play an increasingly central role in this competition. As technological capabilities improve and Arctic access expands, the region will become more operationally active. Strategic aviation, missile defense systems, and surveillance infrastructure will all expand in response. Both Russia and the United States recognize the geographic reality that the shortest path between their territories runs across the polar region. This makes the Arctic not just a frontier, but a critical axis of deterrence and defense. What makes these encounters particularly significant is their dual nature. On the surface, they appear routine and controlled,
But beneath that routine lies a constant process of strategic calibration. Each mission refines readiness, each intercept reinforces deterrence credibility, each encounter quietly shapes the balance of power. These interactions reduce uncertainty about capabilities while simultaneously reinforcing uncertainty about intentions, an essential paradox of deterrence stability. Ultimately, this is why the intercept matters. It demonstrates that great power competition is no longer theoretical. It is active, ongoing, and unfolding in real time. Not through open conflict, but through positioning, signaling, and preparedness. The Arctic skies above Alaska are no longer distant or irrelevant. They are part of a front line where the future balance of global power is being continuously tested and defined.